Today, we're going to talk about 5 mistakes that every entrepreneur makes and how to avoid them.
Hey out there, it's Lauren Powers, business and marketing coach, sharing stories of bad entrepreneurs turned profitable business owners and how you can learn from our stories to help you grow in your own business. These are real stories, y'all, so it's going to get real spicy. Pull up, let's get it.
Welcome back. Another episode of the Bad Entrepreneur Podcast. You got me, your girl, business coach and entrepreneur, Lauren Powers. We are going to get into all of the details about mistakes that entrepreneurs make and how to avoid them. Okay? So now, before we get started, I want to start off with like some positivity. You know, it's a Monday morning show. You might be driving or just kind of getting your work day started or getting your work week started. Let's go ahead and set an intention for the week. All right, for our business owners and entrepreneurs and those of us that are supporting business owners and entrepreneurs, the intention for the week is wealth. All right, how can one word be an intention? It has to be something that you feel, that you speak, that you know, that you verbalize out of your mouth when you're talking about your business, which is why I'm wearing green today. Okay, so green is the money color, green is the wealth color. What I want you all to do is I want you to get a sticky note or maybe your whiteboard in your office, but I want you to write out, my business deserves money. My business deserves money. I want it on your steering wheel. I want it on your mirror. I mean, you can even get real dramatic and write it in lipstick on your mirror, right? Make it real entertaining. But I want you to say it out of your mouth. My business deserves money. Say it every day. Count it as your prayers. And I want you to speak it, know it, and believe it, okay? So that is our intention of the week. All right, so before we kind of get into the lesson, because we are going to dive into the 5 mistakes. Y'all, I think sometimes we need to kind of talk about businesses that we may patronize right now, or things kind of going on in the media, that kind of things that make you go, like that a bad business, you know, that suddenly we've been patronizing and they just closed. So my bad business of the week is, I don't have a drum roll, but I'm gonna get drum roll sound effects. My bad business of the week is Bed Bath & Beyond. Bed Bath & Beyond has been the major retailer, multi-billion-dollar retailer that we've all grown to know and love as a quick way to get our household goods, our kitchen stuff, comforters. You know, shoot, I registered at Bed Bath & Beyond when I got married. And now that retailer has announced they are closing 350 stores because why? Of their inability to compete. So what's the lesson that we learn? Because that's the point of the podcast is not to just talk shit about everything and everybody, but we have to learn from these examples. So when you have these powerhouse businesses that even, I mean, it's not just Bed Bath & Beyond. I believe it's Bye Bye Baby. They may even be attached to TJ Maxx and like all up in that home goods. But when you have one section of products that everybody needs, we all need bedding and sheets and forks and spoons. It's a superstore of household stuff, but they couldn't compete with online retailers or with the pricing that the Walmarts have to offer. So what did we learn? You got to know your competition. You have to remain progressive, and you obviously have to learn to compete. If you know that you're not going to do well in the online space, then that means your brick and mortar has to be able to trump the online stuff. All right, everybody's competing against Amazon. Amazon is hell even competing against itself. So y'all, that's the lesson to be learned. We're gonna miss you, Bed Bath & Beyond. I have been hawking the stores for sales and for discounts. I know final sales, all things must go. So y'all need to go out there and stock up on all your gifts and stuff. Especially if you have a new house that you bought, go ahead on out there. All right. So let's move in to what we're gonna talk about today. 5 mistakes that every entrepreneur makes and how to avoid them. And the great thing about this is that this is actually my ebook. So I'm speaking to you directly from the ebook, and the examples in here are going to kind of, I hope, make you shift the way that you think about business ownership or starting a business. And I'm using very dramatic language when I say this is 5 mistakes every entrepreneur makes. If they're not making these mistakes, or if you haven't made these mistakes, then that means that you're a unicorn, which I am too. So we share in our unicorn magic, all right? But that means that you fall into such a small percentage of people who just come out the womb already having it figured out. I need you on this podcast. Make sure you comment below that you're a perfect business owner so I can have you on this podcast so I can make sure you teach us your ways, okay? So now I'm done being petty. Now we're here talking about the 5 mistakes. Mistakes number 1 is, I say it all the time, do you have a viable business or an expensive hobby? Do you have a viable business or an expensive hobby? All right, that is the first thing that I say in the ebook. What that means is a lot of us get into business because we have a skill or we just some things that we like. And I am right there with you because I personally love opening businesses. I live to do it. But I have, certain things that kind of keep me in check to make sure that I'm going about it the right way. Most of us open businesses because we just have a skill, not because we're good at running a business. If you're really, really good at running a business, it really shouldn't matter what you're selling because you've gone through all the systems and the checks and balances to know you have a great product, you already have an audience, you can find people organically, you know how to do your marketing, you know what is predictable revenue, you know how to be profitable in month 1 through 3, right? It's all of that. So if you don't necessarily, if that's the core of good business ownership and the skill set, but most of us, you know what, we have hobbies. We have hobbies that we try to turn profitable because somebody told us or because we're making money in like a side hustle capacity. So in my ebook, I state here what the problem is and what the solution is. So here's the solution. There's a series of questions that you ask yourself and you must answer before you can move on from this particular subject matter. I'm going to throw some of the questions out there. And if you're thinking about opening a business or if you really recently just opened one, listen up, okay? First question, who are your competitors, online or nationally? Who is doing your thing that you want to open or start? Who is doing it really, really, really well? Let's just use, what's a good example I can use? I want to be a candle maker. Okay, I want to make designer candles that say, bad bitch energy. Okay, that is what I want. I'm sure this already exists because I purchased those candles before, right? So because I love candles and I have access to, resources to help me make the candles, I think that I should just go for it. Like, who wouldn't want this type of candle that has all these punchy slogans and stuff on it, right? But honestly, I would need to look it up to see, is anybody already out there doing it? Is there anybody out there that's doing this better than me? How about, is there anybody that maybe is competing in my particular market? All of that would probably play a part. Now, I know folks will be drawn to me anyway because they know me, they're my friends or whatever, but we don't open businesses to make little amounts. We open businesses to make large amounts. So how do we get to the larger population? You got to know your competition. Here's another question. What is your acquisition cost for a new client? Do you know what acquisition cost means? How much money do you need to spend in order to get a new client in the door? Or are you strictly referral based? Is that predictable? How do you predict revenue and sales? How much money do you have to spend on marketing to get a lead? And once you get this lead and convert the lead, how much does that cost as well? Are you doing Facebook ads? Are you doing Google ads? Are you having to pay a website developer? Are you having to pay a sales team? Do you have, a funnel set up? Are you email marketing? What's your cost to get someone in? Those are the things that you need to think about when you're in the beginning stages. How about, what is your marketing strategy? People love coming up with ideas, but have no idea how they're going to get people in the door. And they're already like, lease has been signed, they're into some serious commitments. They start hiring people, but bruh, pause. How are you actually going to get folks? Is it just because they like you and they think you're cute? I mean, I guess that could work. Because people do that with OnlyFans, kind of. But I'm just saying, Like, think about that. Think about how many people do you need on your team in order for your vision to come alive and for you to make money? I mentioned I wanted to make my candle company, but I definitely will not be up in here pouring wax in the kitchen. All right. I'm not going to be packing it in boxes and going to UPS. Oh, no, sis is not doing any of that. So how much money? So now I'm having to pay, $3,500 in just support? So how many candles do I need to sell just so I can pay my team? That's $3,500 a month worth of candles at minimum, and I don't even know where the new clients are coming from. You see, these are the thought processes of an entrepreneur that wants to come out the gate stronger, to be better, right? So I'm not going to go through all of those questions because I'm only on point number 1, and I don't want to talk you guys to, into the next year. You can always go to at I am Lauren Powers on my Instagram, and you can grab the ebook real quick, and you'll be in my funnel forever, as I always say. But if I hit on to the next number 2, most people, the second mistake is lack of a true business plan and an exit strategy. Lack of a business plan and an exit strategy. I just took on a new coaching client last week. She's a doctor here in Atlanta, and we are starting up her concierge practice in Atlanta, and we are focused primarily, we are focused on the plan, which has the fastest path to cash, and the exit in 3 to 5 years, the exit. She's not going up in here so she can just work until she's 85 years old. That shit ain't cute, especially if you need to do it and you have to do it. It's not because at that point you love it or you just want to keep your skills sharp. So if you don't have an exit strategy, stop what you're doing, pull over on the side of the road. That's your homework. How are you going to get out of your business or pass the business on or sell it at a profit? Or are you going to work in such a way? Are you going to be working 40 hours a week 5 years from now? Okay, I know I'm dropping some dimes. Just saying, I'm dropping some stuff here. Can you exit your business? If not, how are we going to do this? Okay, that's point number 2. And I've got solutions in here. It's the work backwards solutions, all right? So when you get my ebook, you'll be able to kind of dig into to see what those actual solutions are. Number 3, this is a big one. Lack of a dream team. Lack of a dream team. Small business is a grind, especially the certain types. If it's a client-based small business versus being like a product-based small business, your team is all that matters. Your team is all that matters. You could be the best one-man band out there, but you got to have somebody that is helping you do all the things, all right? Especially if you have a millionaire mindset or if you have the mindset of scaling, right? If you have that mindset, you know for sure you can't do it alone. Even if your brand is your business, you're going to get so busy that you're going to need an assistant, that you're going to need, maybe support for someone to pick up the kids every now and again, okay? Those are things that you need. So think of your dream team before you open the business, y'all. Think that your business is going to be so wildly successful within the first year that you're going to have the key players, and you're going to need to invest in these key players for a period of time until they can become money generating for you, revenue generating for you, okay? So if you're starting a business and you don't have those people sorted out, you're shooting first and aiming later, and that is not the quickest way to become profitable. That's the quickest way to work yourself into crazy land. So am I saying you don't need to know how to answer the phones, manage the inbox, do the bookkeeping, do the payroll, be customer service? No, you absolutely need to know. As the owner, you're responsible. You have to know how to do all of those things, okay? You are not absolved from knowing how to run and function in your business. But what you can't do is have $1 million idea and try to pay people $5 an hour to execute, and you certainly can't think about these people after the fact. At our gym, Atlanta Performance Lab, the most important asset that we have is the equipment. No, I'm kidding. And I hope they're listening too. No, the most important asset that we have is the team. They come to the gym because of the coaches, because we're gang, because we have fun, because it's a whole vibe when you come up in there. So when we're even looking to add new coaches onto our team, we're looking for a certain je ne sais quoi that's going to help us make money into the oblivion. I want them to be rich as much as I want for us to be wealthy and our business to thrive. So your dream team. And if you feel like this is a struggle for you, I want you to take some management classes or some leadership courses. If you have big vision, if you have a profit focused mindset, You got to have that team, okay? Listen up. And I want your hiring process to be yours. Handcraft that thing. I said this before in other episodes. I make it so difficult to submit an application for me that by the time you actually submit it, you probably are 50% done with the interview process and you don't even know it. As you've checked all these little tiny boxes along the way with the case studies and the way you filled out your application and the way that you emailed and sent me a calendar request, all of those are preparing me to meet you. So I'm saying if you create your signature hiring process where you know you can get quality people on your team, okay? And then well, I'm not going to get into like budget and how much you pay. That's what the ebook is for. So make sure you dig into that. All right, we're moving on to mistake number 4. Okay? You don't know your numbers. What was your total revenue last month? What was the number one selling product or service? And how many new clients did you get from it? What are your fixed costs, friends? Hello, friends. What are your fixed costs? Do you know what that is? The numbers that pretty much don't change. Your rent, right? Your utilities, for the most part. Some people make that variable, but your utilities have a budget, correct? There's certain things that ain't gonna change. What's that as opposed to your variable costs? Because sometimes the variable costs are what get us in trouble because they're not predictable. We don't know they coming. Didn't know we had to pay for taxes. Didn't we know we had these annual fees, all that stuff. So you need to know and be prepared for that, all right? What are your marketing expenditures? Are you paying anything for marketing? And for things that you are paying for marketing, what are the dollars for every dollar you put out? How many dollars are you getting back? That's called return on investment. So what's your ROI on the dollars that you're putting out? Or are you just making money to make money so you can keep the thing open? Hey, I've been there, done that. That's why we're here right now. I was working to make the same $40,000 every month. The same. Clients coming in and out, you know, my churn rate just kept me on this cycle of the same thing. I could never pull a salary out of it. I could never crack it because I didn't know my numbers. I was making all of these mistakes. How about this? Your email list, y'all. Your email list is the most valuable thing you have. In terms of like outside of your team and stuff, that's your book of business. So where are you housing that? And don't tell me in your iCalendar, okay? Where are you housing it? Is it in Google Drive? Is it in MailChimp, Constant Contact? Is it in one of those types of email softwares? Because that list is what's gonna take you into the future. And that's what's also something you can sell when it comes time for you to exit. Because now we're thinking about exiting our businesses, right, at some point, right? See how it all works together. It all works together. We're sharpening our mindset and sharpening our axe to be quality, solid business owners with businesses that can stand on their own 2 feet. That's what we keep preaching. All right? So know your numbers. Know your numbers. This is an easy fix. You can create a easy Excel chart that has, you know, your categories. It's got your expenditures. It's got your revenue. And then you can see what you're really making and how you can make more or add that on, increase that revenue by 10 to 20% month over month, right? And the very, very last problem, which I like to call shiny object syndrome, is you don't invest in the right things. You don't invest in the right things. And I know I'm probably touching on, especially we got folks that are in, you know, married couples that are doing business together. Or you got one person that's in charge of the spending and the other person. Y'all, beware of those shiny objects that you think are just going to fix your business and catapult you into the next level of success. Beware of expensive softwares that aren't making you any money and you may not even be using to its full capacity. Beware of that fancy website and social media guru that's promising, you know, 10x conversions and this many more likes and followers. Beware. Because if you haven't proven your ability to do some of this stuff on your own, it's highly unlikely a shiny object is going to fix it until you fix what's truly broken, which could be you. It could be you as the entrepreneur that is staying stuck in a mindset that is not going to be able to predict growth for you or give you growth. So I'm saying don't keep throwing money at problems. Get to the root cause of the problem and fix it. Invest in things that matter. Invest in coaches. Hello? That's what we had to do at the gym. We hired a coach because my husband said, I can't work with you. He's like, you're the wrong coach for me. And we got our systems in place. He learned how to run a business. He learned how to be a better business owner. Myself, if you want to know a true number, I've invested over in 1 year, $50,000 in masterminds, accountability groups, mentorship. That shit ain't free. I invest. But off of that $50,000, I made $150,000 in side money just because of the things that I learned from people who are smarter than me and think differently than me. We have to get out of our own way. So I'm challenging you to invest in the right things that you know will help feed the entrepreneur inside of you and help make you more profitable in the long run, all right? So what I want you to do, you got some homework. First thing is I want you to go over to my Instagram at I am Lauren Powers, and I want you to get the ebook. Inside the ebook, there is a business plan, a little bonus. It's called Business Plan 101. For those of y'all that have ideas and you're about to get started, I want you to download the guide and you can answer the questions, and that's how it's a template for how you can create a business plan. And when you look at all of my mistakes, work backwards, and then maybe you might be ready to start a business or scale the one that you're in, right? So that is your homework for today, guys. Thank you so much for chiming in. I know went a little bit long. I want you to like, subscribe, and share this podcast everywhere that podcasts are available. I will see you guys next Monday.
Entrepreneur podcast. After all, we can't run from my past. Talk about it. Bad entrepreneur podcast.